Did you know that your soul and source or your guides cannot intervene in your life unless you give them permission? This is where that old part of praying, when we used to pray and we would ask for what we desire, we would create this intention, we would ask for their assistance to helping us create this. And this is something that in our society, unless you are very religious, most people don't pray. And you don't have to do it as a prayer. You can do it as a manifestation. You can just create a relationship with your soul and your guides, to source, God, whatever you wish to call it, or whatever you wish to have your support network energetically. But it is not to intervene against your free will. So it can open doors and whisper gently in your ear or nudge you towards something, but it will not intervene in your life. So if you are walking the wrong path and heading towards chaos and deep struggle, it will nudge you. They will whisper to you. They will hint to you, but it's your own choice as to whether you go there, whether you walk that path. There's also this part that for the people that are deeply spiritual, and you may not be, but you might be actually a mystic and to awaken into your spirituality. And that usually happens to most people around the age of 30. It's just a natural sort of energy time where the soul's initiation processes activate, because as a human, we need to go through our human journey and learn who we are as a human. And that's usually why as a young, we actually don't follow our true heart's purpose and eventually come to this space where we feel like there is something bigger and better, more for us available. Because as a human, we want to be accepted by society, we get imprinted by our teachers, our parents, and so we follow that stuff. Then we get to a space where we start to learn to come back to our heart, and we learn to start to understand who we are, what makes us tick, what we really want in life. Oh, sorry about the wind and blowing it all over my face. But I guess that's the joys of being able to take time to sit here and meditate and think about things that could actually be really powerful and extremely wise for people to actually learn how to create more beautiful things in their lives, because that's what I'm all about, is helping people live a more abundant and prosperous life, a life that they're full of joy and happiness. And that comes through a space of actually learning these processes. We need to learn how to connect to our guides, how to connect to our higher self, and it is actually quite simple. It's just learning the tools. We're not taught that at school. We're not taught that by most of our parents. We're not taught these skills and things. I know I wasn't. My mum was still fairly spiritual, but she didn't teach me these things. I don't even know if she knows these things herself. She knows a lot. She's very wise. But I just wanted to share. So many people don't realize you need to actually ask. I ask my guides every day, how do I speed this process up energetically? How do I release this? How do I become more aligned to my newest and truest version of myself? Because every day I'm evolving, every day I'm shifting and changing, and therefore how do I become more aligned? How do I release the old imprinting and the old timelines that I've created? I'm constantly listening internally to these whispers and to the energy, and this is what makes me so wise. You know, I was curious about this new process, and it delivered a word that I didn't even know the meaning of, and I was like, okay, I've got to Google that, because I was like, I get the feeling of what it means, but I didn't know what it meant, and I was like, okay, this makes sense, right? So this is what my new program is going to be in, creating wealth and abundance and prosperity and teaching people these beautiful tools. But I just want to ask, are you praying? Are you creating intention? Are you creating space? Are you asking for assistance? Are you co-creating with Source, with God, with your guides, with your soul? Your true spiritual aspect is a blend of your human characteristics, the archetypes of what you are meant to be, so more to do with your astrology or your human design as a human. So what your human blueprint is, and your soul's energy, and that makes your spirit. right? It is not one is better than the other. They work together and co-create, they collaborate to create a life aligned to your soul's purpose. And the interesting thing is that most people's soul's purpose here was an awakening, and actually had less. We actually have more ability to create now than a lot of generations before us did. We have more energetic power and more connection than the previous generations or our ancestors. I'm sure there was a time once, long time ago, that humans were in that space, but we're not.